Good morning. It's me. I'm in my studio this morning. I'm getting an early start before I head off to my art class, but I wanted to show you what I'm working on, and I'll be finishing it up this afternoon. And I just thought it would be a good idea to get a start on it this morning. So I'm working on a series, a simple little series, little abstract floral. And one of the things I'm doing with my classes is we're talking about working in a series, and as long as you have your paints and your supplies out, why not work on a couple pieces all at the same time? So far I've got these two, and I've got several different layers, lots of different elements, and I'm going to show you the process of that with this one, which will be the third piece to this series. So let me get these out of the way. And what I started with was just a 12 by 12 black canvas. Actually, I think I painted this one. And I added my textures. I added some plaster cloth. I added masking tape, more plaster cloth, more masking tape. I did a stencil using, I think I used fiber paste for this. It's pretty rough. I also used some joint contractor's tape, which is really wonderful. And I got all my texture down. And then I'm going to go over my texture. I'm using just titanium white because my liquid gesso is down in the studio where I take my classes, and I don't have it with me this morning. But white is white, and this is going to work fine, I hope, since I am showing you on video. And I just want to cover all of this texture up because it's just the texture I'm looking for, not the color. So if I can get a coat of the titanium white over top of this and get it, I really want to cover it up. I don't want any of this really showing, because as you can see from my sample pieces, the other two pieces, there's a lot of layers going on here, so no sense of making this any more challenging than it needs to be. Okay, I'm back for one more quick step before I take off for class. But I wanted to, this is pretty well dry, my white titanium. If I had used gesso, it probably would have dried a lot faster. But I'm working kind of in a color series, as you can see from this. A lot of my papers are in teal. And let me show you what I got really quick. I have some cyanotypes that I purchased on Etsy from Krista McCurdy. Love her cyanotypes. I also have some varied scraps of paper I made on my jelly plate. I have some really cool specialty papers. I love this one. It's textured. And these little letters, I think I got this guy from Paper Source online. That, and then a couple specialty things. My polka dots were actually from a big sheet of paper, also from Paper Source. Lace trim that I already painted for something else, and I have some scraps left. Of course, my favorite polka dot tissue, and I have some wrapping paper, thin wrapping paper that has fruit on it. Not sure fruit needs to be there, but I did add a couple pieces in. And then I have this great little book that I've had for a million years. I don't even know where I got it. And it's just chalkboard. Somebody had written it. Upon this, my dreams are depending. Upon this, my dreams are depending. And it's just kind of cool little chalkboard things. So I'm ripping that up, and I use those in my piece too. But, so you can see, a lot of my pieces are in the blue-green, green-blue territory. And I like to do opposites. I like to do a complementary color underneath what I'm going to be laying on top. So my complement is a red-orange. And what I'm going to do is just get a coat of that on. And I think I'll also, this is Cad Orange Hue. And I'm also going to add a little red oxide, just to tone it down a bit. And let's see, maybe I'll add a little glazing medium to that just to make it go on a little bit easier. No big secret to this. I just want to work it in and get it in all the nooks and crannies of all the texture I put down. And I'm not going to be too careful with this because as you know, I'm going to cover almost all of it up. But the little bits and pieces that don't get covered up, I'd like those to show through with the complementary color I'm using here. Okay, I'm back. It's afternoon. I had my art class this morning, and I'm back to finish this piece. I've got my afternoon coffee to get me through. Delicious. And let me talk a few minutes just really quickly about a series. Now these two pieces are looking very much alike. They're pretty interchangeable. There's not a lot of differences, which wasn't necessarily what I was doing. Mainly working in a series for me is not to create 3 paintings that look alike, which apparently I've done, but more to create 3 paintings. As long as you have your things, your supplies out, you may as well go ahead and create more than just one. So this one I might mix up a little bit. I'm still going to do a floral, a little abstract floral, but I might change my colors up, even though these are colors I quite often use, and if you've seen my videos, you know that's true. I might do a little bit to mix it up. But, so what I want to do next is I'm going to get those out of my way. I'm going to get my papers laid out. And I love I mentioned the cyanotypes before. I love those. And I'm going to get my papers glued down. So I'm using just Liquitex. Whoops. That's my glazing. Where is my, out of my art bag of tricks, my matte medium. The glazing will work fine. It'll take a little bit longer to dry, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. So this is going to be my vase. That cyanotype is going to be my vase. And I know if you've seen me do laying my papers down before, you know I have my bowl scraper, my silicone bowl scraper, which is really most excellent for getting papers to lay down and getting all of the extra medium out, so you can keep using that. Was a lot on that side. So you're not wasting a lot of your materials. So I've got that guy. Now I think with this really great paper, I'm going to use that. And it's really tough to tear. Can I tear it? I'm going to use that to create my flowers with. Since on these I used, let me see, I think I'll still use the blackboard paper, but I'm using different papers, so I'm going to mix this up a bit to create my flowers with that. I think I want to have a few flowers with the alphabet. Have that one going off. And I do want to create a few. I need to have one big major flower. And this is kind of an odd one. On these pieces, I used house paint. I very often, when I'm in Home Depot, will look at their Oops paint, and I can buy one of these house paints for 50 cents. And I love the smoothness that they go on. This was a color that was given to me by one of the other artists who is painting her studio, and it was a really great color, so it's turned into one of my favorite colors, and that is a Sherwin-Williams house paint, an interior latex an interior exterior latex paint, satin finish. I use it all the time. Now, house paint colors that are more, the colors are more intense, may not be as color fast as you need them to be for longevity, but I use this white, the cream. I like it a lot, and it does exactly what I want it to do. So, yeah, it works. So what I'm going to do here, and I'm kind of winging this as I go, I'm going to paint around my flowers, and I like to keep a little bit of the red, the background orange color peeking through. So I'm just laying this out so that my flowers are a little bit more defined. I'm not being too careful with it because I don't need to be. I want this to look, it's not meant to look like a perfect painting of flowers. It's just the suggestion of. Now when I get to my more the textures, especially the letters here, let me get this, create a little separation right there. And this is why I like to use a complementary color underneath, because when you let it peek through like this, it kind of adds a little sizzle to your painting. Now, as I was going to say, when I get down here to my the letters, I still want those to show up, and I'm hoping that when I go over them with the next color, I can get them to appear a little bit better. But right now, I'm just creating that background. I did forget my little chalkboard element that I wanted to add in, because I did have it added in on the other pieces. I like, where do you draw the line? That's kind of fun. Okay, so here we are again. I've got everything dried. I went back and I added my circles to go with the circles on these pieces. Again, only because I wanted to use the same elements on each piece. And while I was waiting for this to dry, I switched these guys up a little bit. I added some green. I took my my Stabilo Woody and kind of sketched it in and then hit it with water, because these are water soluble. If you don't know about these Stabilo Woodies, they're really wonderful to play with towards the end of your work. And then this one, I took my pink Stabilo, just scribbled in, used my finger, wiped it with water. So they are a little different. Now this one could even stay the blue, which is fine, and they'll all have a different feel about them. So let me finish this one off. And as I was starting to do before I decided to let everything dry, let me get my little pencil, my little woody, sharpened a bit. And I just want to outline, I like to add a little bit of black because we have black in this paper, we have black in this paper and this paper. We've got the black outline here. So I like to define a couple things. Like my tabletop is gonna go right here. And for some reason, it's gonna be over here as well. Let's see, what else do I wanna do? I can also take my black Stabilo pencil and use that to kind of draw my line and define a couple of my flowers, maybe even add in a stem. Let's see, do I want this to go up to this guy? Let's draw around him. So I've got 3 of them outlined in black. And I love these pencils because you can kind of get scribbly with them, especially the smaller one. Let's see, I might want to just do a little line there. I always like to sign my name with my pencils and add that into my scribbles. Let's see, this little guy right here, I need to find a nice smooth area to be able to hit my little flower petals that I have on my other ones, my other 2 pieces. So I did my little flowers that way. And then actually what I like to do once I've done my flowers that way, let's see if I can quickly do that. I like to come back with the paint and paint inside those flowers. It just makes them kind of stand out a little bit more. And it incorporates them into the painting a little bit more. Just a little detail. Plus, if you follow my videos before, you know I like to paint in the lines. I like to paint the little areas. So I'm going to blend those in. To me, I like the way that looks. It's a little bit more finished off. Let's go over here and do it to this guy. I could probably even leave little white petals like that. I think I will. I like the way that looks. Fun. And then on the other 2, I also created a little line around. You know, you could just go in and have fun and just pick out things that you like and that you want to pop them out a little bit more. Maybe this guy up here too. Bring some attention up there. Don't need to do it to every single one of them. Let's see, so we've got that going on. Now, let's take another color. I like the orange. I like the orange a lot. And I'm just kind of rough drawing around a couple of flowers once again. I want to add a little bit more orange around this. Could even make this little guy orange. my paintbrush, get it damp. And let's go hit some of those areas and make them a little bit more defined. I don't want all the lines to be heavy, but it's nice to hit some of them and give them that little watercolory effect. And if you feel like it's getting a little too harsh, easy enough to blot them. I don't want that to be so strong. Don't need that so strong. I like the definition, but it doesn't need to be that strong. Do that with the green. And sometimes in areas you might want to just wipe it off completely. Don't need that strong there. That's the nice thing about the woodies, is if you don't like what you're doing, you don't like how it's working, go ahead and just wash it off. There we go. I do want a little bit of that back. I think I'm pretty good with how this is turning out. And then this flower up here, I'm not wild about that. It's a little too dirty looking. Maybe I can take my orange Stabilo, and that might look a little better. So I think you get the idea. They're looking pretty close to each other. I kind of have to look at it a little bit and see how I want to, if I need to do anything else to finish them off. Let me move everything out of the way so you can get a better look at all three of them together. Let's put those two on the outside, the ones that I've finished already. I don't know if I can get all three of them going across, but yeah, there you go. There's all three of them. It's kind of fun. I have an art show coming up, so it's nice to have small pieces to sell to make some of the art affordable, and this is a great way to do it. You can create several pieces all at one time using the same elements. You can mix them up. I can go in and add, let's see, if I wanted to go in and add, might want to go in and add a little green over this because it's helping my letters show up a little bit more. Get my fingers wet. Brightens it up a little bit. That's kind of fun. Letters are showing up a little bit more. So there you go. That gives you an idea on doing a series. It's really fun. And as always, I hope you try it and mix it up, make them all look the same, or sometimes just use the same elements but completely do them all different. However you want to do it, but the main thing is it's really good to work in a series sometimes, especially when you want to get a bunch of small pieces together. And yeah, small pieces, very good. You could do it on big pieces too, but this works great for getting small pieces together. So thanks for hanging around while I did this, and for listening to me and watching how I do it, and hopefully it'll work for you too. Till next time, see ya. Bye-bye.